Well, listen, everyone, thank you so very, very much for coming out here today. And it really is a pleasure to have Rocco Galanti standing up here, and Maxine Bernier with me, and Budget. All here today, along with the true heroes in Canada, the true heroes in Ontario, you people. You're the ones who are going to make the difference in this province, and the way Ontario goes, you can be certain Canada will follow suit. So Ontario is key to what's going on in our country, and we have to make a stand here if we want to make a difference.
Right.
I'm going to, before I pass it over to Maxine and Rocco, I do want to address a couple of things. First is what the purpose of us doing this today. This is not a protest. This is people gathering together, like-minded people gathering together to demonstrate their commitment to our Constitution, to the concept of rule of law, a representative democracy, and upholding our fundamental freedoms and responsibilities. Those fundamental freedoms and responsibility are ours. It's not theirs. It's not anybody else's. It's ours. And the people who sit in that legislature with me need to understand that their role is to protect our freedoms, our responsibilities, not their paychecks.
Exactly.
Doug Ford and the Conservative caucus, unfortunately, because I used to sit in that caucus and I know many of them, introduced emergency orders, circumvented the authority of the Legislative Assembly, circumvented the responsibility of elected members, and is acting as an authoritarian in our province.
Absolutely.
And he's done this with no demonstrable merit or cause or purpose. Right? And I'll say this, we'll say it loudly and clearly for everybody to understand. We now know, unlike in March, we now have evidence, not just exaggerated projections, not just failed mathematical models. We have hard data and evidence.
Yes.
But we're acting as if we still don't know anything other than exaggerated projections and models. So here's a fact. More than 99% of the people are not at risk of COVID. That's a fact. And we know even that less than 1% who are at risk, 99% of them will recover or not have any symptoms at all.
Yes!
Our policies must be focused on those who are vulnerable, not the healthy, not the people who are not at risk, and we cannot harm the 99 in the process of protecting the one. Okay? These are not exclusive concepts. These are not ideas that we can only do one and not the other. We have and we can and we must do both. Freedom and protecting of the elderly and the vulnerable. I could go on at length, because what we've done with the elderly and the vulnerable is nothing short of tragic and travesty.
Yes! Yes!
But the purpose we're here today, Doug Ford has used public opinion to silence and to remove our freedoms and responsibilities.
Yes.
He has not, and I have challenged him today to send out Toronto bylaw, send out the Toronto police, I am the host. I am the organizer. I want them to exercise the unlawful laws that he has enacted. We can't debate it in the legislature because of Doug Ford. I want to argue it in the court of law. And I know he will lose.
And we will win.
And we, all of us, will win. He knows he will lose, and that's why he's not here today. That's why bylaw is not here today. They want you to be scared, they don't want you to test the law. They don't want to enforce the law. They just want you to be scared of the law. Doug Ford, we're not cowards like you are. We're not yahoos like you are. We know why we're here, and we're proud to be here.
Yes.
And we stand for truth.
But if he doesn't come, if bylaw doesn't come, then we have something even more powerful.
Yeah.
We have something more powerful. We can proudly, legitimately tell our friends, our neighbors, we can tell everybody, Doug Ford will not enact or will not enforce his own laws. He is scared of us instead of us being scared of him. So I'm going to, a lot of people have asked me this question of why. Why are we at where we are? And I'm going to say, that's not a question that can be answered fully yet. There's a lot of things that we still don't know about the why. But I'm going to retell a little story about when I first got elected in politics. I was previously an electrician. I was previously, well, a few things, as well as a dad and a husband, and still remain so today. But when I first got elected 14 years ago, I said to myself, I'm going to be down with the most thoughtful, the most competent, the most educated people in the province who are elected members of the legislature. I said to myself, I'm going to be engaged in the greatest debates. I'm going to be engaged in the greatest discussions. We will look at in deep insight into the matters of public policy.
Poor guy.
I was wrong. If I want to have a good conversation, a good discussion about public policy, I can do it around my kitchen table. A much better conversation than I'll ever get in there. I'll do it at the pub at Fiddleheads or any other pub, and that'll be a much deeper discussion than what I get there. Anywhere I go, there is going to be a much better discussion than what I see in there. And this was the epiphany for me. During caucuses, it came evident to me that elected members in that legislature looked at every policy not through the lens of, will it help my constituents? Not through the lens of, is this good for society?
So true.
They looked at it through a singular lens of, will I get more votes or will I lose votes? Will I get more seats or will I lose seats? And it was astonishing to me that people who are elected to represent people, to protect their freedoms, had no understanding beyond their own re-election. That is a key element. There's more, but that is a key element of what we are seeing through COVID. It is being seen only through the lens of Doug Ford's re-election. Together, we can maybe put a little stick in the spokes on that one. and maybe we can get a premier and elected representatives in Ontario who actually want to serve and help and protect the freedoms of our constituents.
Okay, I know. I'm just gonna take somebody.
I'm going to turn the microphone first over to Rocco, because Rocco's been a marvelous champion as well in the courts of law and in the courts of public opinion as well. This is a battle that needs to be fought in every court, on every grounds, social media, every media, elected, local, municipal, school boards, public health units. We all need to speak out. We all need to speak often. And I'm going to turn the microphone over to one of the greatest and loudest speakers that we've got.
I may be loud, but I'm short. So I'm going to be brief this morning.
Mic off. Turn it on.
I'm going to be brief this morning. The Constitutional Rights Centre stands shoulder to shoulder with Randy Hillier and is protecting the rule of law, the Constitution, and the democracy and democratic institutions. And we also stand shoulder to shoulder with any and everyone who does the same. What this government is doing is it's dispense with Parliament. It's acting on the royal pretense of royal prerogative, which happened in the 1680s, which led to the beheading of Charles I. Dispensing with Parliament and acting on the pretense of royal prerogative have been unconstitutional since 1688. And so he's buried the Constitution, he's buried democracy, and he has to answer to that, both at the polls and in the courts.
Yes.
All right. So I'll turn it back to Randy.
Rocco, you have a track record of being successful. Why do they keep characterizing you as just some arbitrary person with no actual foundation to your claim?
You want the truth? Okay. Despite my track record in winning cases that should never have been won, according to them, they always try to clown me because I'm a